So we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. My name is Chantal Whitehead Scott, and I am the Associate Director, Student and Young Alumni Engagement in the Office of Development and Alumni Relations here at the University of Delaware. Thank you for joining us today for the 2022 Life After UD Blue Hen Ready series, which explores some very important life skills, including career development and financial literacy. We will be offering several additional sessions, one more in the month of September and 2 in October, and we hope you can join us. Please spread the word. We will round out September with one more career development session, with our last one coming up here next Wednesday at 12 p.m. So we hope you can join us virtually. We were at the career fair last week, so we can check that off of our list. In this coming October, we have sessions in financial literacy on October 5th and October 26th at 6 p.m. Those sessions will each be offered hybrid style, so in person and virtual. The first session will be about budgeting and the second session about credit worthiness. So we hope you're able to join. Please keep in mind that each session that you attend, you are entered for a chance to win a $25 Barnes & Noble gift card. So who doesn't like gift cards to the bookstore? So please make sure that you spread the word and you attend. Today's presenter for Ask the Recruiter Blue Hens is Andrea Levine. Andrea is the recruitment specialist at SBP. She is not a University of Delaware alumna, but she did receive her double major in philosophy and German from Central College in Pella, Iowa. She got connected with our Life After UD series through her colleague, Megan, who is currently out on maternity leave. So shout out to Megan for making this connection for us. I will hand this over to Andrea in just a moment. We are recording this session, so we will use this as a resource to share with other students and young alumni who are interested in nonprofit leadership and AmeriCorps opportunities moving forward. I've already hit record, so I can check that off of my list. I am now going to hand this over to Andrea to take it away for the presentation, and I will stop my share.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here today. I should go ahead and share my screen. I am delighted to be able to step in for my colleague Megan, who is a University of Delaware alum, to be able to chat with y'all about nonprofits and AmeriCorps today. So I'm going to be talking about the benefits of nonprofits and AmeriCorps as opposed to other traditional career paths. I'm going to talk about some tips for resumes and cover letters when doing an application for nonprofits or AmeriCorps. There's going to be a little bit of a workbook section for you to think about your own life values as well. And then there is a little bit of a video that I'm going to share a link to that is about interviewing. All right, so getting started, nonprofits is a really interesting career path, great for a lot of people. You know, they do pay less and they do have some unique stressors since they tend to have smaller staffs, but there's also lots of really great benefits. In nonprofits, you tend to meet really interesting people who want to help out, who choose, to make a little less money so that they can do interesting work. So for example, the photo on the right is from the International Crane Foundation. One of my best friends got to work there, and part of her job was to feed baby cranes with this little puppet hand. So they're pretending to be a mother crane. So really unique. You're not in an office. You get to also make a difference and learn a lot. So I'm going to give my own experience. So these pictures are from back in 2010. I just got my first cell phone. Many people didn't have smartphones, so these are directly from my scrapbook. I was working at a nonprofit called Amanda the Panda as an AmeriCorps Vista member. Amanda the Panda is a family grief center. It was started originally by a woman who quit her job at a bank to dress up in a panda costume to visit and cheer up kids with cancer. And it eventually turned into a grief support organization. When I started, I was there for a year doing my AmeriCorps one other full-time staff member who's pictured here. She was the executive director. And so I got to do a little bit of everything. I got to work directly with the executive director and kind of shadow her and learn what she did. I got to meet the people who we were helping. And I got to do some website updates. I got to make our first e-newsletters. I got to help put together parts of our programs. And so in this 1 year, I got so much opportunity for growth. I got to develop multiple skill sets, and I got to interact with and learn from, the executive director, the board members, and it was a really amazing experience for my first job out of college. So what is AmeriCorps? So most AmeriCorps positions tend to be with nonprofits, but they are separate. So what is AmeriCorps? AmeriCorps is the domestic version of the Peace Corps. So it is a service opportunity based in the United States, and they are serving nonprofits to support education, conservation, disaster response, economic development, nutrition, and veterans. So you can go to the AmeriCorps.gov website. You can see all the opportunities that are available and choose based on your interests which type of service that you want to do. So you can see pictures here, reading to children, taking care of a community garden, doing conservation work in the woods, helping to so this is bottom right, moving and distributing food. Bottom center is disaster response. And then bottom left is just the meetings and the great people you get to meet along the way. There are also special benefits to AmeriCorps. There is a living stipend. There is an educational award that can be used towards federal student loan payments, as well as future education. There is loan forbearance. So student loans do not need to be paid off while serving. There's tons of professional development. There's a great alumni network. I actually met my husband through AmeriCorps. Like, you just get to meet a lot of great people. And it's a great way to start off a career, or kind of explore what you like and what you want for yourself. I want to talk a little bit about the organization that I work for, SVP. We are a nonprofit that has AmeriCorps members serve with us. Our mission is to shrink the time between disaster and recovery. We were started after Hurricane Katrina, and we have been helping in multiple communities since, helping to recover after disasters. Currently helping in Puerto Rico, both to help after Hurricane Maria, as well as now Fiona that just hit a couple of days ago. We started with rebuilding, and we have really expanded that to help individuals and organizations to prepare themselves before disasters, to help policymakers to deploy federal dollars sooner and more efficiently. And one of the ways that really has helped us do this so quickly and really helps many more people is our AmeriCorps members. Our members serve as client case managers, volunteer coordinators, and construction site supervisors, and oversee the labor of more than 30,000 volunteers annually at SVP operations around the United States. Our staff is less than 100 people. Our AmeriCorps members are around 150, so they add so much capacity. So I'm going to share a quick video from an SVP AmeriCorps alum who served with SVP Puerto Rico for 3 years and is now a staff member at SVP.
People should serve with AmeriCorps if they want to transform a life, but most importantly, if they want to transform their lives. Doing a service term with AmeriCorps is something that will change your life professionally and personally. You get to meet people from all backgrounds. You get to learn a bunch of soft and hard skills that you would never guess in a short span of time, in 10 months. What it takes in other companies 5-10 years, you can do in 10 months with SVP. And the roads out of AmeriCorps with SVP are limitless. You can go into emergency management, you can continue client services, you can do pretty much everything with all the skills that you will gain in a service term. People should serve.
All right, so now I'm going to talk about how to put yourself forward during an application to get a job in nonprofits or to get a service term with AmeriCorps. So starting with resumes, goal of a resume is to get that interview. So the ways you can really have a standout resume for a nonprofit or AmeriCorps position is including volunteer experience. That shows that you have a commitment to service, that you have a commitment to helping others. You can create a functional resume. So especially if you don't have a lot of experience, or if you don't have a lot of experience in the specific area that you want to go into, you can have a resume that focuses on what's most relevant. What is your most relevant experience, and putting that as the focus, as opposed to having it just be based on what's most recent. In addition, any way you can highlight versatility, creativity, and teamwork. These are all skills that will serve you in any nonprofit or AmeriCorps position. As I mentioned in my term, I needed to try and do a lot of things. I got to write the standard operating procedure manual to take everything that was once in the founder's head and put it on paper so that as staff turnover happened, we didn't lose efficiency. And there's a lot of creativity that got to go into that. And so that's true for any nonprofit or AmeriCorps position. And so even if you don't have experience, for example, in disaster recovery, if you show that you have the skills of versatility, creativity, and teamwork, that you can just communicate well and that you want to help, that's what's going to get you in the door. For cover letters, the goal of a cover letter is to get the hiring manager to read your resume and get interested in you as a candidate and want to learn more. So great tips for cover letters for a nonprofit is to share your passion. We want to know why you're interested in our mission. We know that we don't pay as much as other organizations, especially AmeriCorps. It's a living stipend. It's not a traditional salary. And so if you're applying, we want to know why you want to serve. We want to know why you want to serve with our organization, whichever organization that is. And this next tip, this one is good for absolutely every organization, including for-profits. Make sure you include the name of the organization and the position you're applying for in your cover letter. So often I'll get cover letters where, even if it's written really well, it's very obvious that this person is just putting together a general cover letter saying what their experience is, what they're good at, and not showing that they're interested in SVP, and not showing that they have an interest in service. So the very basic, instead of having to rewrite your cover letter for every position, just making that little step of including the name of the organization and the position in your cover letter shows that you know which position you're applying for. So the next section is a bit of a workbook. There is a QR code as well as a URL on the screen for you to access the workbook. There are a few personal and career goals exercises for you to complete to start to get a sense of what's really important to you, so that you're not just getting a career to, check, I got a job after college, good for me. But you're not just doing what you thought you're supposed to do or what your parents said that you should do, but that you're really doing something that's going to align with your values and your interests as well. And so the first piece of this workbook is this personal and career values exercise. You can see a little clip of it on the screen. And this lists a bunch of different values, and you choose how important they are to you. When you get to the end of this section, there is a box for you to list your top 7 values. So you go through, you will write down everything that you checked for great. And then if you still haven't filled in 7, you can go to the quite and pick from there. So until you have 7 top values. When you have your top 7 values, we have another exercise, which is on page 2 of the workbook. Please pause this video to take a few minutes to complete page 1 of the workbook. All right, the next exercise is about prioritizing those values that you've narrowed down. So when you complete this exercise, you will have your top 3 values, and you can just follow the prompts on that page 2. Pause this video and take a few minutes to complete page 2. Now that you've completed page 2, take a moment to consider what was difficult about this exercise. Was it easier than you thought, harder than you thought? Do you feel like the values that you narrowed down, does that feel right to you? Once you have these top 3 values, think about the ways that your current job fits or doesn't fit with these values. And by job, of course, I mostly mean being a student. However, if you have a job outside of school, you're welcome to consider that as well. After that, there's a section for personal and family. And again, think about how your values fit or don't fit with your personal and family life. Again, please pause this video and complete the next exercise. Great. Now that you're a little bit more familiar with your personal values and the ways in which your life fits or doesn't fit with those values, let's talk about how to write accomplishment statements that are going to highlight the types of work that you've done that are going to help you get the job that you really want, the one that really aligns with your interests and with your values. So you figured out your values, you figured out what you want to do, you found a job you want to apply for. How do you take everything that you are, everything that you've done, and distill it into what is the most relevant for this position, and get it across to somebody who's never met you? So the next page of the workbook, next 2 pages, actually list power verbs. And this is a great resource for anytime you're writing a resume. You can even go on Google and just type in power verbs for construction, power verbs for business, and you'll get lists and lists. This is a way to really hone in on what your skills are, instead of just saying, I created a website, I created a blog. You could say I facilitated the creation of a website by managing several other people. I wrote posts for a blog and I edited them and posted them. There's so many pieces that you can get into more detail with and help to get across what you actually did. For those of us who find it challenging to, speak positively and be our own cheerleader for ourselves, this is a really great way to help you learn how to talk about your accomplishments. So using these power verbs, please take some time to complete the accomplishments statements. That is the next page of the workbook. This exercise will help you to identify things that you really enjoy doing, things that you were proud of, how you can talk about those things in a cover letter or in an interview. So take some time and complete at least one accomplishment statement. Excellent. So there's going to be an opportunity at the end for you to get connected with me. If you have any questions, please save those. Please feel free to reach out. In addition, your workbook does have a little bit of information, additional information around resumes and around cover letters for you to use as a guide, as a resource. One thing that I want to point out is the section on cover letters, where it breaks it down really well. Paragraph 1 is your "I love you" to the organization. Here's why I love this organization. Here's why I love this job. This is what I want. Your paragraph 2, "You love me." That here are the reasons why I'm the best fit. Here's the reasons why you should hire me. And then paragraph 3 is "Let's work together." So that's where you're talking about how to connect. And for anybody who finds cover letter writing to be challenging, using this template can help you to kind of craft what a basic cover letter can look like. And then that can just be tailored and edited to whatever job you're applying toward. All right, I want to talk briefly about finding opportunities. When I first started applying for jobs, it was getting online, looking for jobs that were posted, sending out tons of resumes and applications and getting almost no response. It was really disheartening. And what I found, both through my own experience as well as friends and family, that here are some tips for how to find those opportunities. One is AmeriCorps.gov, and this is specifically where to find AmeriCorps opportunities. There's a lot of positions listed. You can search by focus area, you can search by location. And then the next tip is talking. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your professors, let them know that you're looking and what you're looking for. You never know who will hear of something, and then because you mentioned that you're interested, they'll think of you and they'll connect you. Most of the positions that I have ever had, I have gotten because somebody who knows me said, "Hey, I heard about this job and I think you'd be a great fit." And it wasn't the type of thing where it was somebody who worked there and I was getting an in. It was just, there's so many job opportunities out there that it can be hard to find the postings for the ones you're going to be the best fit for. And so if you have multiple people who are keeping their ears open for you, who are keeping their eyes open for you, you're going to find it much more quick process to find those positions that are really the best fit for you. Next tip is to apply anyway. So often, when you look at a job posting and it says, you know, you need to have this experience and you have this qualification, and especially coming out of college, you don't have that experience, you don't have those qualifications. My recommendation is to apply anyway. Especially for the positions where you feel like, okay, maybe I have a few of these qualifications, maybe I have half these qualifications, just apply anyway. You never know what could happen. I have a colleague who had applied for an AmeriCorps position, went in, got an interview, they didn't hire her, but then they called her back up and said, "Hey, we have a staff position that we think you'd be great for." And she got a staff position, and she was making more money than she would have with AmeriCorps. And it turned out that that AmeriCorps position was not the best fit for her talents and skills, but the company, since they had met her then, knew, oh, well, we have this other opportunity that would be a really great fit for you. And then my last tip is informational interviews. ideally you can find positions through, just talking to your own network, your friends and your family and the people who already know you. But there are times when just getting connected with somebody and having a sit down conversation, whether it's through Zoom or whether it's in person at a coffee shop, and having this little, it can be 15 minutes, it can be half an hour, but a really short conversation with somebody where you ask them, so what does your day-to-day of your job look like? So, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it? And just learning about somebody's experience in a job that you're interested in without having the pressure of, oh, this is an interview. That helps you learn about, is this the right fit for me? And it might help lead you to the right person who knows about a job opportunity that's a good fit for you, who can say, you know what, it sounds like you'd be really good at this other position. You should look into that. Just this curious experience of asking questions and talking to people can help lead you to your first or your next opportunity. Okay, so this is a video that I love using when I do Life After AmeriCorps training. This is a video that talks about pitching yourself, specifically, how to answer the tell me about yourself question in interviews. However, the process that's described really helps in lots of different types of conversations. So the process that's outlined in this video, it will take you through how to connect your experience with your values and your passions, so what we talked about earlier in the session, and how to connect all of that with whatever you're asking for from someone, whether it's a job or an interview or, trying to get a business partner. This video is about 15 minutes long, and there is a corresponding worksheet, the very last page of the workbook that I sent over. That is to go along with this video.